Good morning, beautiful people.
Hey everyone.
And welcome to Blackrock, just outside of Dublin.
Yes, it's about a 15-minute train ride from the city, so just on the outskirts.
We had a travel day a couple of days ago to get ourselves from Limerick, where we were staying, to Blackrock, which is just outside of Dublin. I think it's still Dublin.
Yes, it's
Like
a suburb of Dublin.
Yeah, it's like one of the suburbs. Anyway, but we needed to do a fair amount of walking and different public transportations to get here because we handed in our car. We dropped that off in Shannon Airport, which is Limerick's airport, just outside of Limerick.
Yeah, I missed the car already.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult to buy groceries if you don't have a vehicle.
So we didn't take you around for that.
It was very boring.
No travel day. And it brings us to this video, which as you can see is a little bit different to what we have been doing.
Instead of going around for a vlog, we're going to just give our thoughts on Ireland so far. I think we've been in Ireland for almost 3 weeks.
Yes,
and we
it's
have
been, I think, 19 nights that we've slept over in various accommodations.
So just short of 3 weeks, and we've got about another week left in Ireland before we head off to our next destination. And we just wanted to kind of, give you an update on our thoughts on Ireland so far and what we think of Ireland and the people of Ireland and everything. So yeah, let's delve straight into that.
Let's see how it goes.
Firstly, Ireland is an amazing country. We'll start with the positives and then come to the cons later on. Ireland is an amazing country. It is relatively small in terms of the geographic scope, but it's got a lot of history. There's a lot to see if you really want to spend the time to actually go and find it. The people here are, I don't know if it's just because of the language barrier being basically
eliminated, yes, because we speak English.
I don't know if that's why, but the people come across as exceptionally friendly. To give you an example, we wanted to just go around Limerick for a day, just to have some coffee. I don't think we unfortunately vlogged that day, but we just walked around, just explored the town a bit, and walking around in Limerick, or rather driving around in Limerick, we had some really, really difficult times trying to find a parking spot.
It was pretty hard.
Because on one of our previous vlogs, I'll put a little tag up top there, we had to pay something like €9.
It was €9 for just shy of 3 hours,
yeah,
yes.
3 hours of parking. So we were trying to avoid that, trying to find like street parking, and we couldn't find anything. Like literally, they had this disc parking system, which we're not acquainted to.
That's actually more the issue. It's not so much not wanting to pay parking, which we wouldn't mind, like €2 an hour if we were there for an hour, whatever. But because we had a car rental, there wasn't a clear way to actually get the little tag to put on the dashboard.
We didn't know how.
So it was a case of obviously wanting to save money. You don't really just want to spend all your money on parking, but also not knowing how to follow the rules and regulations and being very scared to get a fine.
Yeah, like the last thing I want is a €150 fine just for parking in a place for like an hour or something.
But back to the amazingness of Irish people.
So we're driving around and I see a random, not elderly, but maybe like, 50s odd guy walking down the street with his dog. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I don't know how this is going to work. So I'm going to ask the dude. And I just asked the guy because we parked on like a street parking relatively not far away, but like a distance outside of the town center, city center, whatever you want to call it, and got out, saw a sign and just asked the guy like, where can I buy this thing? How does this work? And the guy said, no, you absolutely do need to buy this thing. There's a possibility that they're going to fine you. But then he's like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm going to move my car and you can park on my bay. Because his house was like directly off of it. So he's like, no, just park in my driveway. And I'm like, no, dude, I can't, like, this is your place. So, like, I'm not going to take your parking and, stop you from coming back. And the guy's like, nah, I want to go to the beach. I'm not coming back for the day. You can stay here until tomorrow morning. And I'm like, wow, that's so nice.
So, didn't have to. It was really sweet, just, answering our questions to begin with. And then he offered us parking. So that was...
Yeah.
And we have many little stories like that.
This is just one example of it. People generally are exceptionally friendly here.
Yes.
So it really is a very humbling experience to come here and just have people be so friendly towards us. Ireland, super friendly people. Yes. We love it. Great stuff.
Awesome. The other thing that we both love, we probably got a hint of it, but we like walking around and hiking or not, and it goes without saying that Irish countryside is absolutely gorgeous. It's just there's so many hills you can walk over and just places just to explore. It's so beautiful here.
So yeah, Ireland's countryside, really beautiful. Love the nature here.
Yeah.
So rolling off of the idea that, you know, the hillsides and the countryside are so nice to explore. If you do have a car, like we did in terms of getting a rental, it is really easy to get around in terms of Ireland's geography. It's nice and small, so it's really quick to just zip around and go see whatever. And it pretty much feels that wherever you go, there is something to see.
Oh, yes.
Even where we were in the farmlands, I mean, it's beautiful countryside, lots of winding roads with old bricks lining the road.
Yeah, it really feels like a country of castles. So it doesn't matter if you go to like a little town where, you know, someone from Dublin hasn't even heard of, because that actually happened. I was talking
nobody knew what a
Airbnb.
raglan was.
There'll be castles nearby. So it's absolutely awesome having had the car for that. And their road systems are really good here. The signage is awesome. So if you have a general idea where to go and you don't have access to Google Maps or whatever because you don't have data, the signs are really good. So navigation is really easy.
All right, and then another thing that we've enjoyed in Ireland, I would say sadly, but I don't regret it at all, is that generally we like beer, and the beer here, in all fairness, we've only really had Guinness, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Irish people that don't like Guinness, but drinking Guinness here has been an absolute treat.
It's so delicious.
It's hearty almost.
That beer we had in Cork, I think, is definitely up there on my list of favorite beer.
The Franciscan Well.
The Franciscan Well Brewery, that's it.
Franciscan Well Brewery.
It was so delicious. I really liked that beer. It was so refreshing. It wasn't like overly fruity. It was just so delicious.
It's really tasty. So we've enjoyed the beer.
And
I'm sad that I can't get a lot of it because we're going to roll over into our biggest complaint about Ireland now, and that is...
It's expensive.
It is really expensive.
Yeah.
Ireland has exceeded our budget by quite a bit.
Quite dramatically.
A good example is that we can compare the prices of Ireland with, say, the prices in Germany, even in, some of Germany's more expensive cities like Munich.
Oh, that's a very good example, yes.
Really expensive in Ireland.
There were a couple times here where I felt it was a case of I need to choose between transport or eating dinner. It was
not that we didn't eat food or anything, but it really is a case that if you make use of, say, public transportation, you kind of feel like you've already depleted your budget for the day.
Yes. So we did a lot of walking as a result. So instead of paying for the public transport,
once we had given in our car, it's been a lot of walking.
After we had in the car, there was a lot of let's just walk 30 to 40 minutes to get to the city center, because the cheapest accommodation was outside city center, of course. So it is a little bit pricey here.
Just to give a couple of examples, a hostel bed in, say, Dublin costs us just over 30 euros a night. And that's per person for one bed in a sharing dorm, so it's not like you've got a private dorm or anything. That's 30 euros per night. And if you had to look at something else, like, for example, public transportation, which is another problem that we've got, and we're going to roll straight into that one, and that is not really the lack of public transportation, but the cost of public transportation being ridiculous here.
Specifically the buses.
We took a train from Limerick, which is on the western side of Ireland, all the way to Dublin, which is on the northeastern side, if I can call it that.
2.5 hour train trip, and that cost us, I believe it was 26 euros for the
26
two of
euros.
us. So that's a really good
so
deal.
that's 13 euros per person, which we don't mind. That's like a decent price to pay for a 2-hour trip. The bus ride that took us literally from Shannon Airport, which is just outside of Limerick, it's Limerick's airport, to the closest point to our Airbnb,
which was
in Limerick, which is
16-kilometer trip.
16 kilometers by bus cost us €8.50 per person.
It's a bit rough.
So that was almost as much as the train trip that took us all the way to Dublin.
So we do know about the leap cards that are available. They do offer a slight discount. You can get them in Cork, Limerick, Dublin, whatever, but it's still expensive. Like, even if you have like a 10% or 20% discount on like a high rate, it's still a high base. So
in terms of comparing it to other cities that we've been to, Ireland's public transportation, even with their local discounts, is still expensive. It unfortunately doesn't matter which way you skin it, it is expensive.
Yeah, so if you're visiting, really look into getting a rental.
And even that is going to cost you, because parking is expensive here. my recommendation is probably to try and find accommodation as close to possible as where you want to visit, so that you don't have to do one or the other.
Then you can walk around and get some exercise.
Just enjoy some fitness instead. It's cheaper, really. Food is cheaper than petrol, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I think overall that's pretty much the only dislike. Oh, the other thing is there's a lot of plastic use here.
Oh yeah.
Which, coming from a city like Cape Town, we have a lot of push towards living sustainably, and we found like a few times we've gone out and buy food, you go to a restaurant, whatever, they bring everything in plastic. So I'm talking about you sitting in a coffee shop and they bring your iced coffee in a plastic cup and they put plastic straws in instead of just bringing it in a glass. Like that's weird for me. I'm not used to that. There's a lot of like use of single-use plastic items where you literally have something and 5 minutes later it goes in the bin. So it was a bit strange after visiting Berlin. There's a really big focus on sustainability and recycling everything. So coming from that, and also in Cape Town where we're kind of following in the lines of I'd say Germany, to a place where they really use a lot of plastic here. Yes.
Basically the point being, Ireland is very big on single-use plastic items, and generally speaking, we don't like that. We obviously like nature and we're advocates for nature, but not to the point where we're vehemently fanatical about it. But this is still a problem for us. It's too much plastic. I don't see the purpose why you put a plastic bag inside of a plastic bag just to make sure that the product is somehow safer. It doesn't make sense to us. And also, when I sit down at a restaurant, I get upset when people serve me in single-use plastic items, because it's just wasteful. There's no other word for it.
What I don't understand is, why do people give 2 straws for beverages? Like, 1 is bad enough. Like, to get 2 straws, it's weird.
So in summary, after this long rant, Ireland is awesome because it has exceptionally friendly people, beautiful countryside. It's easy to get around if you do have a car, and there's a lot to see.
And the beer is very good.
The beer is good. There's no denying that.
That's a huge plus.
And if you are relatively fluent in English, then there's basically no language barrier here. They do obviously have Old Irish, but every sign is given in both Old Irish as well as English. So that's really, really nice. The cons, on the other hand, is I would say we struggled to get them, except for the expense. Yeah. But generally speaking, Ireland is expensive, and tying into that the public transportation is expensive and not as robust as some of the other public transportation systems that we've enjoyed in other cities. And then lastly,
it's just the plastic.
The plastic is a problem in terms of the amount of single-use plastic items that they've got here.
But that's, I mean, grasping at straws.
Literally.
It's been a really positive and wonderful experience. We're so happy we came to Ireland.
I'll definitely be sad to leave it.
Yes.
Happy to go to a cheaper place, but at the same time, sad to let go of Ireland, because it's a really homey country, if I can call it that.
Yes.
So Ireland has treated us very well. Thank you to all the Irish people. I doubt anyone that we saw on the street are going to watch this, but if any Irish people are watching this, thank you very much. It's been an awesome stay thus far. We're really looking forward to the last week that we've got here.
Oh yes.
And we plan to make the most out of it, because we really do like it. If you've got any questions that we maybe did not cover here about Ireland, if we are able to answer it, please just drop us a question in the comment section below.
Or any other questions you have for us, like anything you're curious about, just doopy-doo.
And also, if you enjoyed this style of video, let us know. If you want more of it, hit a thumbs up or give us a like or whatever.
Yes, that way we'll see if you do like it, and then we'll know if we can keep doing this kind of thing. So thank you for sitting away with us today.
Stay awesome.
We'll see you next time.